Have you seen this ad on your feed? This is an ad from AFK Journey. This first ad is promoting their new season and features. It is a cinematic ad, so it doesn't tell you a lot about the gameplay, but at least it's not a fake ad so far. The next ad is narrated and features some gameplay, and for once there's an ad that looks somewhat like gameplay and not your typical fake ad.
Wield this power to protect yourselves. Step into the fray. Until the flames of war consume the land. Until your bodies burn out. I will eternally bless you.
Can't miss it. You can explore caves, unlock mechanisms, and discover treasures in villages, canyons, jungles, and beaches, gradually unveiling Asperia. If you're an office worker, you can't miss AFK Journey. Even if you're defeated by the enemy before work, you can still claim AFK rewards after work, boosting your power and filling your inventory with weapons and equipment, which allows you to clear stages easily. There are also resonance crystals, which assist in upgrading your newly unlocked hero to the highest level, making strategic team matching stress-free. If you're a hardcore RPG player, you can't miss AFK Journey. You can choose from dozens of exquisitely created heroes, including mages, warriors, and rogues. And you can enjoy various modes, such as mazes, arenas, and special stages. Come and experience it now.
AFK Journey. Download now.
I have played over 75 hours or 30 days of this game to find out whether it's a scam or a gem, so you don't have to. Let's begin with the story. There's a lot of stories and side stories in this game. If you're in a rush, it is all skippable. The characters and their backstories are well fleshed out and unique. The story is good. I'd give it a 6 out of 10. It's not bad, it just feels very samey and predictable. But it's hard to not be predictable in today's world where most ideas have already been thought. The cutscenes are really beautiful, as well as the overall world design. At least on PC you can change the graphical quality, which is great, since I don't have the strongest PC in the world and putting this on high res to record really puts a lot of strain on my little PC. So the rest of the time I set it as low as can go. The game did not feel extremely grinding like a lot of similar games I've played, like Hero Wars, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes and Marvel Strike Force, just to name a few. Those were all really grindy games. This, however, felt different. You only have to level up 5 characters instead of each one individually, and then all your characters will take on the lowest of that 5's level, although they cannot exceed 10 levels from the lowest to the highest level. So for example, your highest can only be level 80 if your lowest level is level 70. The gear also applied to each class and not each character, which was a welcome relief. Both of these features helped spend more time on resources and leveling rather than trying to research the latest meta and stay in fear that you're going to level up the wrong characters and like get behind in the meta and then have useless characters that you can't use in the end of the day. The game also had different artifacts that you can choose to equip, each granting different buffs that you can choose between based on the scenario that you're facing. For example, extra healing, extra damage, maybe even extra defense. In terms of grind, there was some. The first time I felt like the game stopped flowing and I had to start looking for resources was about 14 to 15 hours in, which is not bad. A lot of similar games like this, it starts about 4 to maybe 8 hours in and then you have to start grinding. But after that, I later got to a stage where even grinding for resources and XP stopped being possible. Like in some games, you can just keep grinding and grinding until you run out of energy and maybe spend gems or something on energy. But here, it wasn't really possible, and I had to start waiting for the AFK chest that they promote in the ad. So they usually promoted like, oh, you can't beat this level 15 character, come back after work and then open your AFK chest, and then you might be able to beat it. So this was, I guess, similar to that in that regard. Like if you weren't able to beat something, you just had to stop. You couldn't grind anymore, and you had to come back the next day, and you'd get your AFK chest, which with more XP and resources, level up your characters, and then try again. This all started happening about 27 hours in, and kept happening over and over every single day until eventually I somehow had tons of XP but no hero essence, which was also required to level up your heroes. And this kept happening over and over again until I had tons of XP but no hero essence, which was required for every 10th level up. So to go from level 80 to 81, that's what you needed hero essence for, and I just started running out. And this still happens till the day of recording this video, where I'm now about level 200 plus with about 75 hours in and about 30 days according to the game. I have gotten used to it, however. I log on, do all the activities, and do all the battles that I can possibly do, and then try a few other combinations if I get stuck on a level. Sometimes trying out different combinations of heroes and artifacts will help me progress slightly further, but once I hit the brick wall, I'll just log off and come back the following day, get some hero essence, level up the characters, and then I can beat that challenge. In terms of incentives to spend, there are some pop-ups to buy bundles and items, but not too often, which I really appreciated. They wouldn't spam you with offers every 2 minutes. It was just like, oh, you've leveled up this character, here's a new bundle, would you like this? And you say no, and that's that. They don't pop it up again. The bundles do seem a lot more affordable than a lot of the other games I've played. I might be mistaken, I haven't like gone looking for bundles, but I haven't seen any bundles going up above about $200, which is extremely expensive, but I have seen that in quite a few other games. Um, just going off the top of my memory, the most expensive thing I can remember is about $20, so it's not that expensive compared to a lot of the games. Another thing I really enjoyed about this game is I didn't feel like my progress was forcibly killed or halted in such a way that I was felt forced to buy a bundle. It just felt like the game continued to progress. I would hit a solid wall. I'd come back tomorrow and progress for quite a bit, and then hit another wall, and then come back the following day. Whereas most of these games in the genre, you usually play the game, hit a brick wall, and then every single day you just hit a brick wall where you have to grind, and it feels like you have to spend money to continue. But it really did not feel like this in this. Now, considering a lot of games in this genre have fake ads where they advertise puzzles, this game does have puzzles in it. It does not advertise them and does not need to advertise them, and hopefully in the future will still not advertise them. These puzzles aren't that hard, they're nice to come across, because usually it means you get quite a lot of free loot because the puzzle isn't too hard to solve. Now, getting into the different game modes and battles of AFK Journey. There is the main story mode, which consists of all the dialogue, cutscenes, and the few battles that come with it. To get through some of the story, you do need to unlock it, and in order to unlock it, you need to unlock the area that it is contained in. This usually comes with a battle that you need to face beforehand, and to unlock the battle, you do need to progress to a certain level. For example, your characters need to have reached a certain resonance level as well as a AFK stage before you can unlock the fight, do the fight, and then unlock the next area.
Well, victory is deserved.
This is the Mythical house. This is where you can find the free-to-play shop that you can use your earned currency at. You can get new heroes here at the time of recording up to 4 different draws.
What kind of flower will bloom this time?
AFK stages give various rewards and determine how much loot you'll get while being AFK. Although the term AFK might be used wrongly here, because the counter keeps ticking even while you're actively playing the game or the game is closed, so you're not really AFK during those times. These are generally not too hard to defeat, and if you do get stuck, you can ask for assistance from random players or guild members. The assistance can be using a hero from their team in addition to your team, which will give you 6 characters to fight with instead of 5, or they could do the battle on your behalf while still using your heroes though. I prefer this method because it allows me to see what type of formations they could use with my heroes, what type of artifacts they use, and what arrangement of heroes they use. This really helps me progress through the story a bit faster as I can see what I've been doing wrong and what formations I need to use in the future. The AFK stages also have an auto battle feature which allows you to just click auto battle and set a team, and then it will just fight them automatically while you can do something else like make coffee, watch a movie. Well, I wouldn't recommend watching a movie because it usually takes about 15 minutes, maybe a bit more before your characters hit a wall, and then you have to come back and maybe upgrade your characters a bit and then start the auto battle again. In the Dream Realm, you are given a couple of chances to fight a creature and get rewards based on your damage. Deal enough damage and you'll get to the next tier of the creature. I really enjoyed this battle mode since it really made me think a bit, and it came down to strategy and trial and error and just not relying on brute force, which I tend to do quite a lot.
Well, victory is deserved.
The Honor Duel is pretty fun. I just couldn't find enough time to commit to it, and I felt like I had to commit to about 9 fights, more if I lost some, and the rewards weren't as enticing to convince me to dedicate such a large chunk of time. It was about 9 fights per Honor Duel, and you could do about 5 Honor Duels a day, and that was just a bit much for me. I still think it was a great idea though. The characters you do get randomly to play with, and their levels are set, so you're basically equal, and the only difference between you and your opponent is skill and maybe a bit of RNG. The arena was your classic PvP. You get to pick the map, put your defending team on it, and then when you're attacking opponents, you attack on their map. You're allowed to choose between 3 opponents, and if you weren't satisfied, you had a few opportunities to reshuffle the list.
Well, victory is deserved.
The Arcane Labyrinth was pretty fun. You got to pick a few characters you could qualify, and those characters were leveled up to a max tier, so you didn't have to worry too much about not leveling up the right characters for this. You then had to beat about 15 levels. The shop does count as a level, so it's usually less than 15. And after each level you got a various buff. This could include something like attack up, stunning your opponents after a few seconds, health up, things like that. And they did help you get through quite a lot, because by the time you got to like the 15th battle, your character's damage was about double from when you started, so you're quite a lot stronger. Once your characters were defeated, they had to be revived using a revive potion, which were quite rare. But once all of your characters have been defeated, and you didn't have any revive potions to revive them, that was the end of the labyrinth and you had to start over. But it's not too bad, I've only had to restart once, so it's not too hard to defeat a labyrinth.
I'm still pretty solid.
In the legend trial you go up against enemies using the heroes from only one faction. For winning you get various rewards including the sought after hero essence, and you can also get some acorns to rank up heroes in that specific faction.
Victory blooms most beautifully.
The guild mainly consisted of battle drills for me, and this is where you join up with the guild, take down mobs along the way, and eventually try to get the boss. The rewards weren't too great, but it didn't take that much time to play, so I didn't mind it. The login event is your basic login format reward. You log in once a day and you get a reward for logging in, although the rewards did become less great as time went on, making it not The rewards did become less great as time went on, making the incentive to keep logging in a lot less as time went on, but I guess the game considers you addicted by that point, because it was about like day 20 where the rewards stopped being that great, so you're probably addicted by then. There are two game modes which I wasn't able to play, since I was not a high enough level yet at the time of recording. These were the Song of Strife and the Trial of Abyss. Since I could not play these, I can't comment on them and judge them. The last game mode was called the Primal Lord. It was interesting, but not all that great. Basically anyone can attack up to 3 times a day, and you have to try and collectively defeat the boss. The sooner it is defeated, the better the rewards. You do get some rewards for every fight, but they're not that great. Your characters will be about level 200 and you're still getting level 150 gear, so it's not that useful. The only reward that was great was it had the hero essence that I keep looking for. The one thing that made this game mode feel a lot less fun and maybe a bit insignificant is the fact that individual damage does not really contribute a lot. It's mostly the big whales who are responsible for defeating this boss. The little tiny dredges of damage you do as an individual don't really contribute at all. And those are all the game modes I can remember. Overall, the game was not too bad. It was one of the better types I've seen in this genre. It's a very beautiful game with a decent story, and it's not too heavily after your money. Not yet at least. We'll see how time goes. And the core gameplay does not feel overly grindy and repetitive as most games in the genre are. Most importantly, the ads I have seen thus far are true to the game. Now time for the Scammometer. And there we have it, not a bad game for its genre. I'd give it about an 8 out of 10. That's not bad at all. And that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe, it really does help the channel. And there are loads more videos like this on the channel. There should be some like this now on screen, so do give them a look. And as always, have a fulfilling day. Bye bye.